Candor. We're here a walkabout. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. And yes, folks, a little bit later I'm going to be doing another walkabout. But today I had a concept earlier today. Kind of bog into my thought process. Basically something was brought up to me today, and it got me thinking. Perfect video I'm thinking of is change. Specifically change in atmosphere. When I was a kid, well, when I was younger, about 15, 16 years old, we moved to where I am now. See, I used to live in a small town. A very small town. I'm not kidding. From where I live, I'd say it would take me, I'd assume 2 or 3 hours at bare minimum to walk across the town from end to end. It wasn't that big. Here, it would take me the better part of the day. That is, of course, if I'm in the sun, of course. I wouldn't do it, of course, because I don't want to push my luck. As far as cars, it would take me about 3-4 hours. Mind you, again, in a car, 3-4 hours. That's the difference between where I used to live and where I live now. The reason I'm even making this video, please do me a favor before I go any further. Like, subscribe, comment down below. So, my mom was in talks with my brother. My brother basically said, come on down. I would love for you guys to live with me. And I said, I told my mom, I was like, I don't know about that. And here's the thing. We weren't doing anything where we were. And honestly, it was getting to the point where things were going to get a little rough if we didn't do anything. Because I'm going to be honest, guys, where I lived, there were virtually no jobs. I'm going to be honest, no jobs. I mean, there were a few restaurants here and there, but I wouldn't have bet 2 cents if I ever had that point where I was going to go into those jobs. So, we left. Mostly for better opportunities to see if things got a little better when we got here. Let's just put it this way. Us getting here was the journey in itself. Holy crap. The journey was the real peach, because it was just bad. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for Ashki. Thank you for checking out my videos. I love the interactive ones. Thank you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to explain to you the journey I got here, how I got here. So, as I was a kid, about, again, 15, I was actually closer to 14. I have no idea where your pickles is. I have no idea. Anyway, so like I said, I used to live in a very small town in the state of Colorado. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called La Junta. Okay. Good luck with you as well. Whatever. Anyway, so the small town La Junta was, again, very small. No opportunities, especially if I was in the point where I was going to, get a job. There was really nothing there. So we decided to move out here with my brother. My brother had an apartment here, and when we got here, it was bare bone. It was literally, he had a TV and maybe a microwave, and that was about it. When we got here, we started pulling our money together and getting everything, our couches, our we basically had everything when we got here. No, No, I've never been to Japan, and boy, do I wish I was there. But I've never been to. The only other the country I've ever been to was Mexico. I've only been to Mexico, and mind you, that was for basically hanging out with family, cousins, aunts, grandmothers, that kind of thing. So anyway, as I was moving down, we were here. The I was telling you guys how I moved down here from Colorado. If you guys don't know where I live now, I live in Arizona. Yes, folks, one of the hottest states. I said one, not the one of the hottest states. It's ridiculous. You get scorched, and do not be surprised if you do. Anyway, so it hurt because when I was moving down here, I actually was in a relationship with a girl. Her name was Kaylee. No, not her real. That isn't her real name. You think I'm gonna dox her like that? Come on. It's just a name I whipped up. But the point was, I was with a girl, and I liked her. But let's just be honest, guys. At the time, I didn't realize it was all puppy love. It got to the point where we kind of fizzled out. It was like a flame erupted and got snuffed by itself. It literally snuffed itself. So it was bad. It was just it wasn't worth it. Honestly, it was just bad. It wasn't toxic. It was just not even considered to be lasting. Anyway. Anyway, so as as we were moving here, sorry, I interrupted myself, and my trail, my thought process went into a different trail. So when we were coming down here, that we, I don't wanna buy anything. I don't wanna buy nothing. I don't wanna buy nothing. Anyway, the part that got me when I was moving down here, like we were in a car, well, van specifically. We got stopped because apparently our truck was having issues, oil based. So we had to go to a shop. We had to go to a shop and see what was going down. Long story short, we wound up being, because apparently this shop had a way for people to wait extensively, apparently, and that was kind of a red flag, because we were there for over a month. Oh no, not over a month, but over a week, closer to 2 weeks actually. And then we found out that something kind of shady was going down. We only found out was because one of the mechanics was basically saying, hey, I don't think this is a good place for you and your kid to be here. So basically the guy said, I have enough money for you guys to have one night in a hotel, and I'd recommend getting the next bus out of here, because I don't know what's going on. Apparently he decided to do the whole whistleblowing routine. Later we found out that that same garage that we lived for that week was a drug den. I am not bullshitting. That place was a fucking drug den. And oh my god, I cast magical goodbye. Would you cut that crap out? God, I hate when people are so insensitive, and like I'm trying to be cool, but this guy is just basically. So I had to cast magical goodbye. If you guys are wondering, it's just basically me banning him for 24 hours. Hopefully he gets the point by then. Anyway, I rarely have issues with people coming back, so that's the one thing I like. But anyway, so yeah, the guys that were at the truck stop, basically the mechanics shop, yeah, they were all, apparently some of them got arrested, the guy that we were talking to, I found out that this guy was he was a whistleblower. He That's one of the reasons why he got us out of there, because again, he was being honest. He was basically making sure that, a kid didn't get involved with the crossfire. And it stunk because I hated the idea that we were getting involved with that and unknowingly about to get, involved with police. So this guy said, you know what, we're not going to let you get involved with this. Here you go. He gave us enough for one stint at a hotel, and by the next like couple of days, we got here, and which is ironic because where I used to live and where my brother lives now, sorry, where I used to live and where I am now, it is, I'd say, 12 hours at bare minimum from where I used to live. So the fact that it took me 7 days is fucking ridiculous. It's like I went 2 times around the block and then 9 times that way just to get where I'm going. I felt like Ryoga from Ranma 1/2. If you guys don't get that reference, look up Ranma 1/2 and you'll be laughing your tail off all throughout the entire series. But yeah, that is basically what happened to me when I was young. I went through some funny stuff, some not so funny stuff. It was just one of my situations when I was growing up that things were complicated for a little while. I'm just thankful that we got out of it the way we did. It stunk that it had to happen that way, but it had to happen. It was like a journey. It was a journey. The reason why I brought it up to me right now is when I was talking to my mom, I was grabbing something, and she basically said, it's possible that we might be considering moving again. And mind you, nothing has been set in any shape or form of any kind of concrete. We're literally just basically having the brainstorm of the blueprint of the idea. We have no idea whether or not we're considering doing it for real, but it's in like the planning of the blueprint. We're at that stage right now. We're discussing it, seeing if it is feasible. And then add 2 or 3 more zeros to that. We don't know if we're even considering it. Mind you, we're going to be... the place we want to consider is, again, near where my brother lives. And so far, that instinct doesn't seem like a bad idea, to be honest. It just means that we were really... Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are wondering why we're always going near where my brother lives, he seems to have a very unique insight to where things are profitable. And honestly, so far, I've never really had an issue with that. I'm gonna be honest, I have no problems because it more or less worked out for us following him the first time. The second time, he has definite years and mileage on his little meter, so I'm pretty sure I could trust what is profitable, and he seems to know where and what we can do. He says, "Hey, if you come down here, I can help you get a job, a better job, where because honestly, guys, I've been looking for a better job since actually quite a while, actually, and this actually might be my best shot. Might be able to get to the point where I can actually afford what I've been trying to afford for a while, mind you, and I'm not talking about anything more than just an honest living, like one to the point where I can actually go out and talk to a girl, and I can actually afford shit. I can actually say, hey, why don't we go out and have some fun? have a blast and actually feel emasculated, feel like a man taking a girl out, and not feel like every time she buys something, there's another nail in my coffin. Because every time I do, I will feel vindicated, in my personal opinion. Yes, folks. If you do it wrong, that mentality turns into a toxic trait. It is not a good trait. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I hate that about myself, 100%. If you guys don't know, I'm not that kind of guy. But unfortunately, I do have that trait because it was basically spilled on top of me since I was a kid. That you were supposed to be the protector, the benefactor. But the problem is, lately, I hate the idea because it is so... guys, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of you guys are on that case where I hate the idea of that I'm always expected to buy this, expected to do that, expected to do that, and that, and this, and that. Be that person, be that... Guys, apparently, we have no ability to get to that point where we get something out of it. It's apparently we can't get anything out of the relationship because we are the men and we are the ones supposed to give, and never take. Which again has become the norm in today's society, where we men get the short end of the staff, and we're supposed to love it and smile, or better yet, we're supposed to stand there all stoic going, No, I am not that guy. I am not the guy that just stands there like fucking Kratos from God of War going, boy. Fuck that. I am not that dude. If you think I'm whining, cool, I'm whining. Because it's unfair, it's uncool, and it's completely and utterly toxic. Because it's the same shit that if a man is supposed to be doing everything I just mentioned, right? Then let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you ladies this. If men are supposed to do exactly what I just said, all the above, right? Everything I just mentioned, then what are women supposed to be? You're supposed to, let me guess, you're supposed to sit there and look pretty, right? Well, there was an expectation for women as well. There's an expectation, and I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to be that toxic guy. But there's two roads to that, If you want to give the guy that ultimatum, like, hey, you got to do this, you got to be a provider, you got to do all that. Well, what are you gonna do? Sit there on your ass and reap the benefits, or what do you? And the one comment that I was always gonna get everybody is, if you ask the girl, then what do you bring to the table? $10 says that I'm gonna get hate mail for that, because every girl out there is like, well, how dare you say that? How dare you tell me that? How dare you expect me to do something? How dare you have expectations of me? Kind of hypocritical, don't you think? You are a hypocrite, thinking that all those rules only apply to you, only apply to me, but when they're reversed back on you, oh my gods, I just declared war. Like, it's getting disgusting. It's disgusting. It really is. And it makes me pull out my hair thinking, wow, people are actually feel this way. People are starting to get to the point where that mentality, that expectation is there. That we as men are the only ones expected to take on this responsibility, and women all they want, guys, let's just put it this way, a lot of these women, and I'm not saying all, not all guys, a lot of these women, when they say they want equality, let's face it, guys, it's not equality that they want. Because if it was equality, then they wouldn't be spouting this bull crap. Do you want to know what they really want, and they're just labeling it as equality? They're basically trying to put us back into the box, the Pandora's box that they themselves opened. They want us to go into the little package. They want us to go into the package that they once were. They want us to an extreme to become the indigent servants and do exactly as they say. They want to become the 1950s just in reverse. They want us to do everything and anything for the woman and expect nothing out of us. I expect nothing from them because they are the women. They have the power. Guys, I am not saying women don't deserve power. They do. But lately, the biggest issue is you are using it incorrectly. You are using your abilities inefficiently. You are hurting your own cause because you say you want equality, but you do not want equality. You want servitude. And if you guys want to argue with me, put it in the comments, because that's exactly what's going on. Mind you, some men still have those outdated thought processes, and all I can say to those men is knock that shit off. That is exactly one of the reasons why we're having issues with women nowadays, is because you, as the patriarchy, you're supposed to, you know what it was originally, the original concept was the family concept. It was supposed to be it was supposed to be a norm, but not a facet. It wasn't supposed to be to the point where it became toxic, guys. It became toxic when women started, not all women, of course, expected it. They wanted it that way because they saw it in like movies and TV shows. Well, guys, they never showed you what the other end of that concept. They never showed you what the other side of, marital bliss in those years. They had to go through a lot of crap. They had to go through trial and error. Ladies and gentlemen, $10 said that a lot of the things that they show you was exactly how it worked for them specifically. It does not work as an official mold. The only reason people personified it as a mold was because that's what a lot of people expected. And they personified it in the sense where they forget there were steps to making that work. There were steps, guys. They forgot that, there was expectations of the men having to deal with all that garbage on a daily basis. For the women have to be the homemaker as much as a mother, a best friend, all that, right? There was even references to the fact that the reason why a lot of people said, oh, well, divorce was low in those days. Well, that's because a lot of those couples, again, they worked it out. They worked it out because they had years of practice. They had a framework for that relationship. That framework was basically what you saw in those movies, TV shows, whatever. A lot of them, yes, the only ones that you saw most of the time were, and especially in the 60s, 80s, and 90s, were the ones that actually worked out. Nowadays, yes, you see a lot of, disgruntled couples breaking up left, right, and center. That's because they were trying to give realism to what relationships look like now. And I'm kind of glad they do that now. But that does not effing mean that they are 100%. Because again, they show a lot of times what the media wants you to see. Some directors are smart and they say, hey, we got to show this because it's real, it's true. Yeah, aspect, but you gotta work it there, guys. You gotta, and when it comes to those kind of things like relationships, you gotta show the process. It's like math, guys. You gotta show how you got to that answer, because if you don't show how you got there, not only will it not make sense, but it puts on really unreal expectations. Yes, folks, I was talking about change initially, and now we're talking about this. Well, I felt like it was a good opportunity to explain that. Anyway, thank you for checking out this video. Like, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And Mango, thank you for checking out this video again. Stay tuned. I'll be doing another video probably later tonight. It's gonna be a game that I'd recommend. It's called Gundam Breaker 4. If you guys ever played that game, it is fucking amazing. I'm getting pretty into it, so I hope you guys enjoy it too. And a lot of people got it getting into it as well. A lot of people are checking out the video, the game. Don't be shy if you want to drop in a couple of comments what your favorite Gundam is, or what you think the Gundam looks like, or what you think it should look like. If so, drop it in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next. This is your friendly neighborhood game machine, Kendall, signing off.